Hi guys, welcome to part 3. Thanks.
He's excited.
Of our MCU hopes and predictions video
and
thing.
wants.
Yes. Once again, if you've seen the last 2 parts, disclaimer, spoilers
for every Marvel movie.
Yeah, and again, these are our opinions. Don't bash us, please.
Don't.
Let's not ramble on because this video is already going to probably be long. Are you alright there?
Too long. I've got the words.
Oh.
I was going to say let's not talk too much.
But yeah, so I hope you enjoy this and off we go.
Villains. The new villains of the MCU.
Yes.
Like the big villain. I think, and there's a lot of evidence.
Or like the next Thanos.
Yeah. So I reckon it's going to be Kang the Conqueror, who is a time traveller, and they have rights to him now because they bought the Fantastic Four and all that. And also it could be a way to introduce the Fantastic Four into being against the big villain, because they could be the next. It could be Fantastic Four instead of Avengers, and that be the big crossover event, a Fantastic Four film.
That kind of supports it now, because you know Far From Home, they said he's from another universe. That basically then also supports that.
Yeah, because time travel creates the alternate universe.
Is time travel going to be the next big thing? It was all about Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
now we're next
going to be time travel, alternate realities, because Doctor Strange goes into that as well.
You were sort of like, I don't know if they're going to do with time travel.
I was like, oh, I'm against that, but now they've done it and they did it a way that I liked. I'm like, they should do more. They need to do more.
The next big thing is going to be time travel. Infinity
and like
Stones,
alternate realities. Because like Kang's main goal is to rule every single reality in every timeline. So essentially, they could do it. Kang times travels, and they've done time travel. Maybe he comes after finding out what the Avengers have done. And because there's in the Avengers show we used to watch, you know, the cartoon one, Kang goes back in time to like get to Captain America shouldn't be in the present day, and that's ruining his like timeline. So he tries to put Captain America, I think, back to, you know, the 40s or something. So, and it shows him going through time, like changing everything, so his timeline changes. So they could do something like that.
Cap stayed with Peggy, not just because
maybe that will be why he comes, because Cap has stayed, and that might change the timeline slightly. And Kang's like, that ruins my future timeline because Cap should have done this, and instead he never did that because he went back in time and got old, or because the Avengers changed everything about the snap. Maybe that changes his timeline. So maybe them changing the timeline is causing him to be erased or something. So he's like, or him to lose, you know, control of the world. So he's like, I've got to travel back in time, change everything, so I am the future ruler of the earth. So maybe that's what they try and stop. So it's like, you know, we need to stop him from changing all the timelines. That could be interesting. And it could be a Fantastic Four one instead of Avengers. So then no one can go, Avengers Endgame was supposed to be the last Avengers, and now they have another big Avengers crossover, because it could be a Fantastic Four crossover. And then you can introduce new characters instead. And like Hercules could be in it. Do you think they'd bring
Quicksilver back from, like, if they're alternate...
Yeah, or maybe that was part of the thing. Maybe he's like, oh, Quicksilver being dead is what causes this future event, which then causes me not to become ruler. So I need to stop Quicksilver from dying so this can happen, which leads me to being in a thing. And even though that would create an alternate timeline, they could do a thing where it changes the timeline. Maybe because of Kang has certain technology that causes the timeline to stay together. And him doing that is why they need to stop him, because then he will destroy their timeline. So then they change their timeline. Because otherwise it wouldn't really matter, because he'd just be creating another alternate timeline. So it doesn't matter for them. Maybe Kang has a threat to their timeline, so they have to stop him.
Right. So my next point, well, was kind of 2 things. Was Hawkeye film, Black Widow film. Hopefully there'll be a Black Widow film, which obviously they can't do a future one, but I think it's kind of been confirmed that there's going to be
a film,
because isn't it said that Scarlett's going to direct her Black Widow film?
So maybe.
So unless that was fake, then
I kind of want them to do a show. If it's a prequel, I think if you're going to do a prequel about her origin, that needs to be a show, because it needs to show multiple things going on.
And like Hawkeye's, but I want Budapest. I think, I don't know.
They could do 2 shows and have them then link and merge into one, called Budapest.
Or they do like, see, because they might do like Black Widow trilogy, but all in the past. So then that will work.
Because then Budapest
And
could
then
be like near the third or second film.
maybe they'll do like a film of them both together instead of like. See, I would say like maybe they'll do like one of like her, and then the next one would be like both of them and like how they meet and like Budapest and stuff. And then I don't know if they'd do that.
We still have
like,
no idea what Budapest is.
No.
What happened
They
in
mention it a
Budapest?
lot.
They mention it all the time.
They even mention it in Spider-Man.
Yeah. Do they? They
No.
never do it, yeah. They mention it sort of in...
Obviously not.
They mention Budapest itself in Captain Marvel, because Nick Fury says he's gone to Budapest. That's probably not the same thing, because Black Widow and Hawkeye would be too young at that point to have met each other yet.
So basically,
they mention
I want more Black
Budapest,
Widow and
the place.
Hawkeye things, whether it's together or separate. What? See, because there might be Hawkeye stuff, as in like his daughter Hawkeye, because he literally called her Hawkeye.
And
He's
Hawkeye
never
becomes a
been
girl.
called Hawkeye except once in what was it?
It was in Endgame, but he doesn't get called Hawkeye.
No. It was like Age of Ultron or Civil War. No, Avengers. I think it was.
Oh,
it?
yeah.
It said the Hawk.
Yeah, but I mean,
That
like,
is the
he's
only
never been
time
called
he's
Hawkeye
been called anything
himself.
close to it. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the only time he's been called anything close to it. Was he was called the Hawk
But in
guy or
Endgame,
whatever.
he calls his daughter Hawkeye.
So it's like
it's
there
kinda
might be
like,
something on
I
her.
think that's too on the nose. I'm like, it's definitely going to be her. Because
Yeah.
in the comics, Kate Bishop becomes Hawkeye, so a female Hawkeye. So I feel like that's too, it's definitely, that I think will happen. It will be a girl. It'll be his daughter instead of Kate Bishop. Because then it's more
Because
of a
he's kind of-
continuous link.
Because he said before that he was like retiring. Obviously things happened and that kind of sort of didn't happen. But like, is he gonna like now again retire? Because obviously they've got rid of like a lot of the original people anyway. So is he gonna retire?
Also, I feel like his daughter was the one they tried to push him
Do you know what they
more
could do?
with. They mainly focused, even though they focused on all his family, his daughter was the one they usually kept having on. Like, when he went back in time, it was her he heard and was like, Lila, and then same with at the beginning he's with her. So it's kind of like they're trying to push his relationship with her more than the others, and it feels like they're doing that because they're going to have a show on her. I kind of think if Hawkeye died, then I would be like, definitely they're going to do his daughter as Hawkeye, because after he died she might be then, my dad was Hawkeye, I should become Hawkeye because he's dead.
Maybe it'll be a Hawkeye film and it's the daughter.
Yeah,
But
because I feel like when
dies
he's
of old
alive,
age.
it's a bit weird having her as Hawkeye, because I feel like he wouldn't want her to be Hawkeye.
They might wait like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly, because if they do have 10 years...
They could just be
Because I think currently she's probably like 13. I feel like
so it could just
they're
be a
not going to do a
plan
Hawkeye
for, like,
show about a 13-year-old.
film or show.
Yeah, film or show.
I don't know if they're going to do that many shows. Like,
I think the Hawkeye show though apparently is going to happen. It's either a rumour or it has been sort of confirmed.
as in Hawkeye or Lila Hawkeye.
I don't know, it just says Hawkeye. But I think everyone assumes it's Hawkeye, Clint Barton. But you know, people assume a lot of things. Like how they assumed Captain America was going to die and I kept saying he wasn't and he didn't. You know. I mean, if Hercules, say, becomes a film next year, it's one of the revealed untitled films, I'm just going to say, I guess everything correct when it comes to Marvel, so I should just start guessing everything. I guess a lot of stuff in half time it happened. I guess the Skrulls were going to be good, I think, or at least the Kree were going to be
you don't need to give a list.
evil. I'm just going to say, I think certain things will happen, and usually they sometimes happen.
He and my mum both, like, we'll be watching like a TV show, yeah, and they'll be like, I bet this person's going to be this,
And sometimes
or they
it
guess
literally has
something.
no...
And it always happens.
There's no hints to it sometimes as well, it just
you
happens.
and
I'm
my
like, oh
mum.
god.
You and mum always guess things. It's like, you know.
I feel like it's just, I think that should happen, or that needs to happen, and it does happen. And I'm like, oh, nice. My last point is not a film again. It's a thing I think should happen, or / not happen. Gamora and Star-Lord. I do not think Star-Lord should get with the other version of Gamora from Endgame, because it's technically a different Gamora. So I feel like it's just Gamora being replaced. His Gamora is just being replaced by another Gamora. I feel like
I agree.
It's like how when you lose a toy, if you buy another toy, it's technically not the same toy. It's the same type of toy, but it's not the same exact toy you had those memories with. So I feel like that toy is still existing somewhere. So it's like, it feels like that's just a bit cheap.
Except she's not
If he
existing.
gets with Gamora, the new Gamora, I feel like that's like a bit weird. It's
See,
like, you've just
'cause
replaced her.
They kind of hinted at that, obviously, in the game where he was like searching for Gamora.
At the end.
But so like, if say in like Guardians 3, they want to have Gamora in it or something. If they want that to happen, like he could try and get with her and like.
And then
they like kiss or something, but then realizes it's not the same. If they do that, I'm like, okay, but like hopefully they don't end up staying together, because like you said, it's a bit weird.
I wrote
it's not
down.
the same. It's kind of like he's cheating. It's like if you have twins,
that's
like,
what I
one
was
died,
actually
I'll
thinking
go
of.
for the other one then.
You know how if people actually like it as well, I'll be annoyed, because people got annoyed about how before we knew he was gonna marry Peggy again, you know, Cap, you know, before we knew he married Peggy, everyone was saying, oh, it's so weird that he goes out with Peggy's niece, because even though he didn't know it was Peggy's niece, I know. Even
Marvel have issues with relationships. Spider-Man's here, Peter Parker's here calling Liz his girlfriend. They went to like homecoming together.
They didn't even end up going.
And he didn't even stay there. So why are you calling her your girlfriend, Peter? Why?
And also, like, Cap didn't know it was her niece in the first time he met her, and he sort of liked her then. So I'm like, kind of like, well, he didn't know at the very beginning anyway. But Gamora, he knows it's not the same Gamora, so he should not be going for her. That's disrespectful in my eyes.
Because she knew, obviously, she didn't know that like they were like, I guess, related, but she knew obviously Peggy was her like. Was it aunt? Yeah, and she knew what he was to her.
Yeah, so it's weirder for her.
Why would she do that? Because she probably.
She's like, oh my god, you
weird.
used to go out with my great aunt. Oh, I find that so sexy. And that's weirder
like,
for her
why
than
did
him.
she go
People
along
keep blaming
with it?
him as if, oh, he just went for the other one.
He didn't know.
He didn't know at the beginning.
It's her.
It's
Why
her.
did she
That's
do
weird.
it?
Not Cap. Everyone gives Cap the crap for that. And I'm like, I don't give Cap crap. It's Sharon who was doing it, not him. I'm like, I also put, I think James Gunn isn't going to do that, because I think most of the Guardians films is about accepting loss. Like the first one, Peter accepts the loss of his mum, and then he opens that gift he hadn't opened for like 30-something years. So he finally accepted his mother's death. He's in his 40s, I think, because it says 34 years later, I think. Or 24 years later, it's one of them. And then Drax accepts the loss of his family in the first one, because like he would always go, "Rah!" And then Rocket's like, oh, boo-hoo, your family died. And then he realises I shouldn't get angry.
Nebula
I shouldn't get other people killed. Yeah, Gamora and
sisters.
Nebula, through their loss, come together as sisters. And even Rocket has to deal with loss. He has to deal with the fact he's lost Groot now. Like, because that Groot is technically a different Groot. They said how that Groot is just a reborn version of that Groot, but he's like different. He's not the same Groot. So technically Groot did die. The Rocket
They should
Groot,
maybe mention something like, oh, I miss Groot. Because then it's kind of like the Gamora thing. It's like he literally just replaced with another Groot.
Yeah, but I don't feel that's as bad, because I think they do know that. And Rocket is sad about how it happened.
They maybe should show it a little bit. Yeah. Maybe.
Like Groot. Groot is like, he accepts the loss of Groot, and then Drax helps him with the loss. Like he starts stroking him, and he allows him to stroke him that one time because of his sad.
In Endgame when Rocket and Nebula hold hands.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
accepting loss.
Even them two, they don't
never really hang out with each other at all in.
So then it's like when they hold hands, it's like
because they love the Guardians still, even though they might not necessarily be as close. They still are close with the others. At the end, and even at one point, Peter calls them all losers, saying we've lost stuff, but we can regain a bond between us. It's giving us a chance, like we can be a family. But I feel like the whole point I reckon James Gunn is going to do is he searches for Gamora, finds her, thinks he's going to fall in love with her, and then he realises this isn't the same. I need to accept that the Gamora I love is gone. And
so he's like in denial, and it's like this is Gamora. But it's not.
It'll be a bit. I think if they get together, it ruins it. I thought Gamora and Star-Lord are one of the good relationships in the MCU.
Exactly.
And if they get together, it just feels cheap. It feels like they've just found a loophole to get Gamora back so she can be with Peter. But I'm like, it's not the same Gamora, so it's a bit.
We don't even know if she'll necessarily still be there.
Yeah, I just hope that if they find her, the
That's-
main storyline is that he doesn't get with her.
See, it's the
'Cause
same
then
with
it's a
like
bit
Nebula.
more-
Like she is her sister, kind of. It's also like weird because it's like.
I don't think that's as bad though.
No, it's not the
because
same.
It's not the same.
But
But
yeah.
even then, that's weird. I don't think she should be like, oh, you're the exact same Gamora. She should just be.
Because she's not the exact same.
Yeah.
Because things happened that haven't happened,
to
so
her.
she's not the
so
same
not everything.
person.
I think Peter should like Peter in the comics right now. I think he's married possibly, and it's not to Gamora. Him and Gamora never really get together in the comics. That was a movie idea. Gamora is usually with Nova. There's usually them two together, and I think currently Peter's with Kitty Pryde, who's an X-Men character who they can now use, I guess. So if they ever use the Guardians after Guardians 3. They could get together. So I feel like don't really get Gamora and Peter together because that's a bit. Yeah. I feel like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, you know, the bad guy, he's trying to get his family back by stealing them from another dimension. I feel like the kind of one of the points for that is like your family are gone, you can't replace them because they're always never going to be the exact same. So you can't necessarily, you know, and I feel like the whole film, I reckon James Gunn won't have them stay together. He said at like the Guardians Volume 2 premiere that the first one's about mothers and the second one's about dads, and I reckon the next one will be about relationships, and it'll be how you can't if you have something special with someone and then it goes, you can't have the exact same thing, in a sense of you can't replicate a relationship the exact same way. So say if you had a wife and then your wife dies, if you get with another person, it won't ever obviously be the exact same because people are different, everyone's different. So even that Gamora, she might look like the same Gamora, sound the same, but she's not. And I feel like if they do it the way I think they might do it, where he gets to with her, I'll be a bit, that will ruin the Guardians franchise for me a bit. It won't ruin it obviously, but I'll be like, oh god, if at the end of Guardians 3 it's like ends with, because apparently this might be the end of the Guardians now, I think James Gunn said. So I feel like they shouldn't have it so Gamora and Star-Lord both get together at the end and it's like a happy ending, because I'd be like, no, that isn't how I wanted it to conclude. So maybe you should get with Thor. They kind of had a thing where Thor and her were kind of like, and Star-Lord got a bit jealous. I mean, necessarily, I don't think any of them have to get with anyone. I'm fine with if they stay as a group with Gamora, but I won't be fine with if they have Gamora and Peter get together.
So now I've just got a few little points. One was Shuri film or TV show, like basically more Shuri, because you don't like Shuri that much, do you?
I never said that.
That's where you like.
No, I said
Shuri.
she's overdone. Everyone acts like she's
I've seen
the
people
best
that
part
don't
of Black
like
Panther.
Shuri.
She's not the best part. I don't hate her though.
I've seen people that
I somewhat like
Really don't
Shuri.
like Shuri.
I ship Shuri and Peter Parker.
really
Mhm.
interesting. But basically, yeah, I want more Shuri because like I feel like she's got like potential.
I like Shuri more than T'Challa currently.
Fair.
I didn't.
You
I
just
prefer,
sounded like you didn't like
I
her
prefer
when I
Civil
said-
War T'Challa over Black Panther Shuri, but I think T'Challa in Civil War is the best T'Challa so far. So it's like obviously I don't like him in Black Panther as much as anyone else in Black Panther. So I prefer Shuri over T'Challa. Like in the comics, Shuri becomes Black Panther, so they could
Yeah.
do a Shuri film where she's Black Panther.
But would that happen?
Not right now.
Not
obviously.
yet.
And she also becomes Queen of Wakanda. Maybe they do that one. Say if they kill off Black Panther at one point, it could then be Shuri. Because I think a lot of people prefer Shuri over T'Challa, actually. I think a lot of people have gone, oh, the side characters are better than Black Panther in Black Panther. Like, a lot of them prefer Okoye more, or Shuri, or Nakia. So I'm kind of like, or M'Baku even. So I'm like, maybe I like the
guess.
villain of Black Panther more than the main character. That says something.
Okay.
But Killmonger's beast.
Add Doctor Strange, but I think that's like what I said anyways.
I feel like Doctor Strange 2 is a definite thing that they're coming out.
Yeah.
I think they said they are doing
Right,
that.
so the next thing is films during the 5 years. So
What, the 5 years of
in Endgame,
Snap?
there's 5
Snap.
years gap between Snap.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could
What
do
happened?
Black Widow film of
In
then.
between.
They could do Hawkeye
Captain
film.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Like Hawkeye,
They could do a Ronin film instead of Hawkeye.
yeah, that.
Because then necessarily no one can go, oh, why have they done a Hawkeye film? They can be like, we didn't. We did a Ronin film.
Yeah. Who else? Like I said, Hulk. they could do that if they do how he becomes Professor Hulk. That will be in 5 years. Then we get some more of like the kind of main characters. Like you could say Cap maybe, but I don't think they would. But they could even do like, I don't know if they would, but they could do Wakanda, like
maybe M'Baku became king for a while.
Yeah.
Like, who was king? Well, because both
Exactly.
Shuri and T'Challa were gone.
Yeah.
And we know, I think M'Baku didn't vanish because we see him not vanish. So maybe he was king.
So it's like, so there's obviously...
I kind of feel like they might not do it as movies if they do anything in between the 5 years.
Maybe.
They might do it as a show because then they can do it a bit more
They could do a show
differently.
where it includes all of them. I don't know if they do that, but...
But they never do
But
that.
that would be kind of interesting, but also kind of...
They could have a new Asgard show where it's Thor just
Valkyrie,
getting
Thor,
fat
Korg.
and like...
Like, maybe
New
they could
Master.
show the development on how he gets to that point. Like, he could be trying at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then he could just snap.
Or it can show how... I mean, Valkyrie is said at the end of Endgame, oh, you should be queen because you are acting like the leader. But we never necessarily see her acting like the leader, so we could see her act
so
like the leader.
maybe at the beginning, Thor and like Valkyrie was trying to help Thor, and like Korg and that they were trying to help him get better. But then,
eventually they just give up.
he just and they just had to give up. Like you know,
like nothing can help him
maybe
up
that
and
would
bring
help
everyone
people
back.
be less angry about Fat Thor.
Because I still feel like even after Endgame, he's still somewhat, you know, devastated by what happened because Loki's still gone, and so is some of Asgard, the ones that are physically killed in Infinity War, still gone. Heimdall gone, his mother gone, dad gone. A lot of them are still gone. So
it's like
he's still not going to get over it. Like that's what annoys me
Is
when
there
people
anyone
say he should be bloody, he shouldn't be because he killed Thanos. But his family got killed. Killing the person who killed his family isn't going to make him suddenly not miss his family.
See, I would say Iron Man, but I don't think they'd do because I guess he was just
having a child and being in the woods going.
So I don't think
going like, let's make a suit for your mother.
Yeah.
But your mother never wears what I buy her. Damn you, Pepper.
So I don't think they'd do an Iron Man one. But there was rumours of there being an Iron Man 4.
Which I think is going to be the
but I don't
female
know.
Iron Man from the show. No, from the comics, if they do, I think that's what
But, so yeah, films in 5 years. And then my last one, which is like about the children. So like Morgan, Harley, obviously isn't like children. But like I want
he could be the
stuff
next Iron Man.
on Morgan and Harley.
He could be Iron Lad.
I also
What, as in them being superheroes or just random?
Either.
Because they could do the Young
there's
Avengers.
one thing I want,
Scott Lang's daughter.
Yeah. Obviously Hawkeye's daughter.
Spider-Man's technically still a kid. Hawkeye's daughter, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Pretty
want
sure
like
there's
more on
more.
Cassie, Morgan, Harley. Like I missed
Flash
someone.
Thompson becomes a superhero at one
Lila.
point.
Yeah.
So he could be...
But like I also want Peter, Harley and Morgan interaction of some sort. Please.
They might, because at the beginning of the trailer we just saw for Far From Home, he's like, I can't stop seeing his face, and then he's with Happy, so maybe the beginning is, like it said, it's supposed to be seconds after.
Also maybe Pepper and Peter, some sort of interaction between them.
Yeah, I mean Pepper I think is possibly in the Far From Home, because you see the check at the beginning of the Far From Home, the original trailer, it says
so
Pepper
then Morgan
Potts.
could be there too, so I'm
Yeah. They could do that.
please. So basically that's obviously very like smaller things, but I want things like to do with them, like the children.
It'd be a bit random if they introduce Tony having a child and then it never becomes relevant ever again.
Another thing.
I mean, obviously it's to make you sadder, but like have it as
Captain
some
America
relevance.
and Peggy, Steve and Peggy obviously then had children then.
I want to find out
I
what
want
happened to
things-
their...
Who are their children?
Yeah.
What? I want something on that. So I keep moving
I want to
on.
find out what happened to his children. Like, would necessarily his
That's
children
kind
might have superpowers, because Peggy's not superpower, but he is. Maybe that can pass on. So you know how the whole point was always the only proper super soldier ever was Cap. Maybe his children and the super soldiers as well, or like have powers or
secret
somewhat
hiding.
powers, and maybe because obviously everyone says Cap is the best for being a super soldier because of the way he is. Surely if he raised children, they'd have morals like him, so they could be
Would they need
more
to
like,
be like
I'm Captain America
in the past
yeah.
though? Because like if so, they could do like their children in now time because they'd be like 30s, 40s. depending when they have them.
Because technically Sharon isn't related to Steve.
No.
But Sharon would be related to Steve's children.
So like it's
They'd
like
be cousins.
maybe Steve's children.
No Sharon.
Yeah, and they're like in.
That's a way to bring
Shield.
Sharon back as well.
They might not.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
I don't know if Cap.
I don't know if they would
be
though,
like
because then I feel like
advising-
Nick would know. But maybe Nick does know because he keeps everything secret. So maybe he
Exactly.
knows. And Peggy did create Shield. So
Yeah.
maybe his children would work in Shield in secret and only Peggy knew or something. But I feel like Howard couldn't have known much because he was surprised when he saw Bucky, so clearly he didn't know certain things if he did know Steve came back, because then he wouldn't have been surprised that Bucky was there. Because when he sees Bucky before he kills him, he's like, Sergeant Barnes! He's like, oh my god, you're alive? So I don't reckon anyone really knew that Steve was back other than Peggy and obviously his children. But even then, who's to say his children knew he was Captain America? He might not have told them necessarily. He might have changed his name when he went back in the past. So they might have no idea. And they find out when they're older, and then that's when they become superheroes, because they're like, oh my god.
My dad was Captain America.
Yeah, maybe they didn't know they had powers, and then they find out, and then they're like, oh
Yeah,
god.
so children stuff on.
Young Avengers, I think they should do. Or have them in just more films.
That's all my
Cameos.
points then too.
Nice.
Woo! Woo!
Mine was more of a comic-y side.
Mine's
of it,
more
and
like
yours was
characters
more of the
that
movie side.
Are already happened. I want more of basically. And yours is
But
like
that's good, it created
new
a mix.
characters.
It created a mix. The
True.
comic book fan perspective and the movie fan perspective. Obviously,
Well,
I'm still
no,
a fan
I'm
of
not
movies. but
comic fan.
You're not
I
a
just
comic book
haven't
fan, you just
seen
don't
them,
know
really.
everything.
No.
I mean, you know some characters
I would
by
love
me talking about them.
To read all the comics, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
So that is the end of part 3, the last part of this
MCU
series.
predictions.
It's become a little series. This was meant to be one
Yeah,
video,
it's
and it's
just
now
one video. I thought it
3.
was going to take a long time, and then you were
I
like,
mean-
it took longer than I expected. And
I guess I forget how much we talk.
Yeah. If every single of our conversations about movies and stuff could be a YouTube video, we could make a whole channel on that. Our channel would literally have so many uploads. That's why we should
just
make a
talk
podcast.
a lot about Marvel, basically. So.
Yeah, and other
Usually
films.
at like early hours in the
Yeah,
morning.
we do it like 3 a.m.
So I hope you liked this video. Comment down below what else you want us to film and your thoughts on our thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you
In
next
the
time.
future.
Hopefully with another video.
Wow!
We finished. Woo!